it's on.
Yep.
All right. We the Hebrew Israelites. Today we doing a sit down. Because of the bullshit music you probably hear in the background because they having some type of
St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, St. Patty's Day.
And let me say this. Let me say this off the back. If the music that you hear in the background is owned by someone else, this is not our copyrighted music. This is copyrighted music. This is not our music. So don't take our video down because of it. Because we cannot help this.
And then
we can't edit it
this
out.
specific music sound like that.
Rave, man. Yeah, LGBT, whatever. Like, man, it sounds.
This is the I'm gonna start off with this. This is Ecclesiastes 7, starting at 3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by sadness the continent. Well, slack it. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the continents the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. And that's the shit that's going on outside right now. The house of fools, the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, and that's what they doing, you know.
One, I mean, they're not considering the time that we're in as far as prophecies coming to pass, as far as World War III, as far as the RFID, the CHIP soon to be implemented, and all of these hidden concentration camps all throughout the country. They're not considering these things unfolding and taking to pass, you know, because they're on that broad path to destruction. But to be of the heart of the sorrowful, you know, is what the hopeful elect are going through, because we're considering the times and we're considering the evils to come. So we're in the house of mourning. Mourning for your house out of return.
Okay. This is Proverbs 14 and 13. Even in laughter, the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. You know, and that's what a lot of people is doing in these days, man. They go into the house of mirth, whether it be a bar or a club, to one of these bullshit outings. You know, Esau having all types of events to cover up their sadness, man. The economy is crashing. Everything is getting more and more expensive, yet they still partying and bullshit.
Hey, it's like, I'm slacking. It's about 4:30 when I pulled up. Them motherfuckers out there staggering and shit.
Yeah, that's what they said. Right at the beginning.
It's about
a blizzard out there.
Yeah, about 26 degrees
right now.
It is
not
blizzarding out
including
there.
the wind chill factor, so it's probably like about 22 degrees. These motherfuckers out here, no gloves, no hats. Goddamn it, the caveman of their life is out there with beards, brews, green shit on, swaying back and forth. You know, the goddamn, them damn,
fruit people. That alcohol to keep them
warm and shit.
Oh, they in their element anyway, because these damn devils, they love that shit. This wind blowing, kicking up, they just doing all of this, man, because they, like the brother said, they know their kingdom is coming to an end.
Right,
laugh now, crying later.
Yeah. They doing it to cover up their sorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they already know this place is finished, man.
Right.
You got runs on the bank after the Silicon Valley incident. You have several other banks lower than that, and that Silicon Valley incident is very significant. I'm getting into it. Well, not getting into it, but slightly entertaining this shit on the comment board on my videos. If I did something before the Silicon Valley thing, it was like about 2 days before that Silicon Valley shit hit. And I did a video on digital currency turning into the MOTB, right? And I said in it that, you know, that's going to be the mark of the beast. That's going to lead into the mark, you know, and why it's going to lead into it. And you know, I did so many videos on it. I didn't go in it super deep, but the point of the matter is, I brought that out in Revelation 13 and 16, you know, and somebody in the comment board felt the need to pop in and say, oh, well, the mark of the beast is the vaccine, you know, it's the jab, man. The mark is actually the jab, and trying to tell me why an mRNA I'm like, look, man, you can't buy or sell. You don't have to worry about And like, hey, niggas gotta check your hand, see the injection point, then you can come into the
people
store.
People need to really do their research before they really open their mouth.
Right.
And talk to a man that did research.
Right.
And that know what he's talking about. That can prove it because he did his research.
Yeah, the men of the Lord who walked by faith, treated the beetle juice like it was the sea hip.
Yeah.
By not taking it and not going to go get it.
Right. Especially when we know
he was saying that that was more like a prelude or a precursor for the sea hip because who's behind it and operating it? Bill Gates, AstraZeneca,
Fortune 500 companies, basically, or Fortune 500 people. 2 Timothy 2 and 15, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. So, before you speak, study to show yourself approved. All this other BS, we didn't already heard it. The MOTB is white women. The MOTB is an embargo and all types of other BS, man. But you can't buy and sell with it.
I will say this too. You remember that video I showed you where they removing chips out of people?
No, you can't buy it. You can't buy and sell without it.
That's the source of where the mark is, but they haven't made it mandatory yet.
Right.
And people are having those. They were literally pouring RFID chips out of people.
Yep, out of people.
They had that damn machine, and it was pulling. They was like, you have certain, and then it'll say the hospital's name on it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're going to be implemented. But those people, did they have the mark? No, because it's not. They can't buy or sell. They were just tracking them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when it becomes mandatory for you to get this thing, like you get it and you pay
when it become your money source, that's the only money source out there.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's when you're going to know.
That's when you're going to know, right? It ain't going to be no embargo no more. When it's your money source, you have to have it.
When it's your source of currency, you'll know.
No more paper dollars.
Right.
No more digital credit cards and all that shit. All that shit going through this fucking chip, man.
Yeah.
This is 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. It says, excuse me, let me read that one more time. 2nd Ezra 9:4. Wait, hold on, what the hell? I'm sorry. You know these apps and shit. I say 2nd Ezra 9 and 1.
Oh, that's too bright up.
Oh shit! If you point it like up,
Yeah, because I just want to give a little extra light.
Yeah.
I see you over there trying to read.
It's 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. What?
Yep.
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the earth which he made. And we are in those times now. You see an increased activity of these so-called UFOs, IFOs and shit.
Oh, you saw that video? The
UAPs.
talked about
Right.
aliens being seen in California.
No.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening, man, with the UFOs, man. Yes.
People are thinking they're alien drones or something. Like aliens are sending drones out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the Most High, the Most High probably got these little different.
Yeah. I don't know who I was talking to. I think I was telling you America a couple of nights ago. Anonymous. If any of y'all know about Anonymous,
Oh, I know.
sent a message out there saying that it has been confirmed by him, by the dude that just bought TikTok. What's his name? I forgot his name. The dude is Instagram, TikTok. What's his name?
Twitter. You talking
Twitter.
about Elon Musk?
Elon Musk. Yeah, that dude. It's been confirmed by him and Anonymous and his team that it's a fact that there is a huge ship that is in our atmosphere that's coming this way, and it is sending out small ships out of that ship, and they're all coming to Earth. They're all coming to Earth. They look like little lights, like dots in the sky.
I will say this as well, Salakia.
No, go ahead, brother.
We also gotta remember that we're not ignorant of Esau, Satan's devices, because we know when the Lord come back, it ain't gonna be no gradual thing.
Right.
You know,
it's gonna we finna get to shit right away.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to shit right away.
Going back to like what cause we always knew they was gonna try to utilize the coming of the Lord before him. Right. That's why the Lord had to let you know if he ain't in the desert, he ain't over
right,
here.
Right.
You know,
we already know the sign, the comings of the Most High, and that's why we just not ignorant to it.
Right.
What I put it to you this way. If they would fucked with something somewhere else and they coming back for some type of revenge, no, this ain't the Lord. Like, this could be very well something else that's coming to something else. Like,
right.
Because
they were using that hologram shit. They showed you that on September 11th.
They showed you that when they used it in China.
Yeah,
with that, that's stupid.
Down,
how you not gonna know that's that Project
Just
Blue?
Imagine
It
looked
hugely real, man.
Right,
like,
being in the city and you just look up. And it was foggy that day.
Smog and that's when it happened. Man, when it was just real foggy, and I'm like, "What? Look, man. Even on camera, you could see it's clearly a city, man."
Yeah.
Then they had another one not too long ago that was showing dragons and angels and all this type of stuff up there. Like that just happened recently.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, man, what is man? You know, the wadi y'all about Shem y'all shot that the Lord is finna end this shit. That's what I see, man.
He finna
end this shit.
Because all of those are deceptions, and they showing you it before they actually do it. You know, and that's that. You gotta accept it. That's the thing about these spells, because spelling spells. The dude was going into how this language is a bunch of spells, right? And
it's an incantation,
right? And we can't be cursed, but we can curse ourselves.
Right,
right.
And you know what? I've always said that even before I came into truth years ago. Even when I told my wife would tell you, I always said that, like, I don't think black people can get cursed. I think it's Edomites can get cursed, but we have the only way if we get cursed is we allow it to come in by doing something the shit that they do.
Well, we already
following their customs. That's how we allow that shit come in.
We're cursed because
we cursed because we was born in it.
Cursed, but we can't be cursed by nothing.
When I say cursed, I'm talking about a demon getting inside you and controlling your body. You know what I'm saying? And making you do shit. But yet you do see this happening from people, white people overseas. This happens all the time, man.
And then not to say it don't happen.
It do happen to Jake. I think it don't happen to Jake.
Because like what you're saying as well, like when they take drugs, they take like them hard ass drugs and they get the spazzing out like when niggas get wet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They take their clothes. You look in their eyes, that's not them.
Look, I just seen that video with that lady that looked at like, I don't care what nobody say. Today, because of how high technology is, there are real fucking zombies walking around us. Yeah. What I mean is, these people, they have drugs out there that's literally, like the brother just said not too long ago, they're turning into zombies.
Yeah.
This is Matthew 12:43. When the unclean spirit is gone out of a man, he walketh through dry places seeking rest, and findeth none. Then he saith, I will return unto my house from whence I came out. And when he is come, he findeth it empty, swept, and garnished. Then goeth he and taketh with himself 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter in and dwell there, and the last state of the man is worse than the first. Even so shall it be also unto this wicked generation. Basically, you get yourself right, you get yourself cleaned up spiritually. You know, let's say you understand the scriptures, you get into knowing that you are Israelite and all that other stuff, and you get your mind cleaned up. But then you start seeing you start seeing your friends and your former associates doing, partying and bullshit.
Sucking and jiving.
You ain't doing no more studying. You ain't hanging out with the brothers. You ain't strengthening your spirit or nothing like that.
You want to be out there in the world
again. You want
to
be out there with them. So little by little, you just start going back out there with them, and then you start doing all the same old bullshit that you used to do, just like that you used to do when the Lord brought you out of it and shit. And then you basically you come in, you go back with them once you leave the truth and go back to the world. You're worse than what
Yeah,
you
look,
began at.
I want to say like what I was saying a little bit ago. When me and my brother went up the street yesterday, all we seen as soon as we turned on the motherfucking division, all we fucking seen was men dressed as women.
Right.
Flat the fuck out, man. Like that's what I'm talking about. Them wicked spirits, like Jake let these spirits enter into them. You know what I'm saying?
If you don't mind me
Right,
saying,
by agreeing with
Yes,
them and not going against them.
right, agreeing with the Edomites and following in their
Agreeing with
customs.
wickedness, period.
You're right,
You know?
following their customs, and then all of a sudden now we seeing Jake and Edomites men dressed as women.
well, you got to think too, because usually like a demon can attach itself to a living entity from a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And semen is also possessing it. So these niggas is out here dressing like bitches, and man, I even came across some shit, man. These bitches getting buzzed down by grannies.
What about the dude in the office? When we was going past the office yesterday.
Yeah, they get
I
buzzed
swear.
down by trannies.
But look, they are so
It's
comfortable now
Yeah.
that it's making the regular people uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's even worse now because now they got Esau got a worldwide campaign with the ABC people now.
Yeah.
They're making laws in the UN to where ABC people, they're trying to make it worldwide where ABC people have rights worldwide.
Yeah.
So they're
They
making
have
laws in the
more rights
United
than
Nations
we
to
do.
it.
They have more rights than we do.
And
They
then-
passed a law.
Yeah, because they going at Uganda. They
Yeah.
pausing. I'm sorry.
They made a law in Michigan where they're passing a bill or a law where it protects gay people. You can't be discriminatory against them. But we don't have that kind of protection.
Right. And then, the thing about Uganda and basically Africa, because, I did a video on it yesterday where, the African leaders have been adamant against this ABC thing, man.
You talking about that interview and he was like,
the interview with him, the interview with the woman that was in some type of powerful position. It was like, no, we don't accept that over here, and I don't plan to change it. Basically, that's what pretty much all the leaders in Africa was saying.
Yeah.
And then when it came to the vote and everything, and the people voted, that the ABC law rights passed. And the people were upset to the point that they were ready to riot and shit. Like, how the fuck did this happen? Their leaders is against it, the people is against it, but somehow it passed anyway.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it don't make no sense, and the people started protesting.
When they know that the majority of the votes came from them, and there's no way that could have passed. No way at all.
It ain't no way that should have passed, but it did pass.
and you got to think too, simultaneously.
Well, they're doing what they doing in America.
You
cheat the votes.
Yeah, all those voting, all that
Same
democracy
thing.
bullshit, it don't work. It's actually bullshit. And the only opinion Esau values is Esau's opinion, and they pushing this agenda, this ABC people agenda worldwide, and they trying not to let nothing stop it. It's to the point where when I was reading the comment section, it was on RT. They like World War III needs to happen and they hoping Russia wins because the regular people in America, and because there was an American guy commenting, I guess. The regular people in America does not agree with what the rules and laws that Washington is pushing. And everybody knows this is just an agenda to get the ABC people worldwide, and they already know also that the Edomites in Russia don't play that shit.
And these are all coming in underneath the guise of pushing this digital currency. This is all a fucking distraction.
Yeah, it
But
is.
at the end of the day, y'all motherfuckers gonna either be in a concentration camp or somewhere with this chip stuck up in your ass, and you're gonna be doing what the fuck they want to, or they're gonna hit the button. You know what I'm saying? All of this is a distraction because at the same time in Africa, these motherfuckers are doing bank runs, setting banks on fire, fucking
Right,
shit
that's
up because they're
another- yeah,
pushing
that's
that digital
another thing.
currency.
Yep.
You know,
yep.
this is all this bullshit is a fucking distraction because these elites don't want you to see the foundation. The foundation of this thing is to make this.
It's
That's why it's
cracked.
happening universally.
Yep.
This is
Foundation
all
cracked.
happening. When civil rights came in, what was ushered in under our civil rights? Oh,
Right,
let's give them
right.
LGBTQ and the
ABC,
feminist
yeah,
agenda.
ABC people's rights
Right.
ushered in with civil rights.
That was all
with the black civil rights movement.
right.
Always
And they
hop
just
on
snuck
us
that
whenever we
in
try to
and
do
pushed,
something.
Right.
pushed Jake out of the way.
Just like
Right.
they said, they just recently a lady came out with a video saying that she just found out that they're really pushing hard for the Jim Crow laws in Mississippi to come back.
Well, they were
Yeah.
never written out of law.
Yeah, right.
They were
were
pretty
enforced,
much
right?
They were just-
ignored.
they were just pushed to the
they're-
side, that's all.
exactly. The
And that's
laws
only
weren't
because
enforced.
that's only
That's
because
all it
Negroes
was.
had stood up and started fucking these Edomites up to the point these Edomites started getting worried.
Either
So they
continue
put
to
certain
keep
laws
fucking
to
those
the
people
side,
up or
like
leave
the
Mississippi.
law of you can kill a black man, and if you're a white man, you kill a black person, you won't be in trouble. Remember that law was hard. That was one of the Jim Crow laws. Remember when 12 years a slave, when dude got kidnapped or whatever
Well,
for
see,
12 years.
And all them Jim Crow laws, which Jim Crow laws, it don't matter. They could bring them back or they could not enforce them. But guess what? During the Jim Crow laws,
Our
during
people
the,
were unified.
Yeah, our
Yep,
people
yep.
unified, and our people had our own communities, and our people were rising.
Right. At
In
least
our
then.
own community
It won't be
back
like that
then.
now.
Like in
Not with the mind state.
Right,
That's-
from the 1900s to the 1920s, our people
Yeah.
had their own communities, and they were doing better than
but
the so-called white.
You know what
people
though?
were doing.
Did you
You
know
know what
that?
they wasn't thinking about though? They wasn't think they weren't saying to the you didn't hear in the black community you didn't see feminists in the black community like that.
No.
You didn't see women, you know, like the way they think today is not completely different from what they thought back then.
They're
You
not
know,
thinking
back
as-
then it was all about family and structure. Now
I got precepts.
it's all about boss bitch and a boss bitch and independency.
Being an individual, it's
You
not
know,
from your own race.
Right. So that right there that happened, the things that happened in the past with the with Black Wall Street and all that is not going to happen today,
I was
man.
gonna say, do you
Absolutely
guys-
not. The
have-
Lord's
have-
finna
do you
destroy
guys
this place.
Know or have you heard of the Red Summer of 1919?
Yeah. I've heard of that.
What is
Chicago.
it? Go ahead,
Yeah.
explain it. Somebody
so
explain
in
it.
that summer, that year, a black person was arrested for some type of act against a white woman or something like that. Completely innocent though, but they put him in court, and there was a mob outside the police station. They wanted him, or they was gonna burn down the police station.
So they want him dead.
They
Period.
wanted this black guy dead, even though they didn't really have. And they just said, "Oh, was a black guy dead? Of course he did." Just like the George Floyd
Rosewood.
riots,
Yeah.
right?
No.
Yeah, just like
It's just like that.
Rosewood. it was just
What's the five the little young guys?
Central Park.
yeah.
Central.
Yeah, but
in New
this
York.
is what happened. That was different. When they had that guy killed, a bunch of murders started happening that summer, where it was black people versus white people versus black people. They kept having killings happen. That was why it was called the Red Summer of 1919, because it was always a bunch of murders happening. Even though we had the Rosewood or the George Floyd thing, it wasn't a race thing happening. Nobody was killing nobody like that.
Rosewood, yeah.
was black
Rosewood
people.
was back then. Rosewood
Yeah.
was back when
That was
Is that after?
That was
the,
white
the
people
war?
killing-
that was during the 1920s.
That's when the lady lied.
Rosewood,
Oh, yeah, I saw the
basically
movie.
all the like what was
That's
it?
when they took out that town.
Well, yeah, when they took out what was it, Black Wall Street?
Yeah.
Because, like I say,
That
I
was the
always
first part they
say
took out, the town.
there was more. That Black Wall Street was just talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, but it was like 5 or 6 different black communities back then between
They
the
all was
1900s
it-
to the 1920s.
Yeah.
that black people was basically striving.
Yeah.
and they had built cities and towns that were functioning like the city, like the neighborhoods of today.
Mm-hmm.
They had running water. They had a toilet sewage system. You know, where
Yeah.
white people
Yeah.
across the tracks
But
actually
in
had
Rosewood-
pissing pots
in
and
Rosewood,
shit
were
in
they
pots.
fighting
And
back?
that's
They
that
fighting
was
back.
that was actually
No.
a lot of
They were
people don't know
fighting
that was
back
in the
Red
19.
Summer.
Yeah.
A
But
lot
they
of
had both people
a lot of people
But
don't know.
see,
And,
after Black Wall Street happened, that's when they got their military involved. What do they call it? The National Guard
they didn't
involved.
stand a
Yeah.
chance.
And all those Black Wall Streets, basically from the 1920s about to the 1930s or mid 1930s to 1940s, they wiped them all out.
But
set
they
back.
also suffered
Yeah.
great losses too, even though our people didn't have no military units. They didn't, because they weren't from the military.
Right.
Some of those men were
right.
already military soldiers and veterans, and they didn't have that on their side. But they had the knowledge that they had guns, and that was enough to really defend. Because they didn't all get wiped
Well,
out. They just lost some of their
No,
homes.
all those towns got
Yeah, the
wiped out.
towns got wiped
All
out, but
those
they
towns.
defended themselves.
And
What you talking
then,
about where?
The Tulsa, Oklahoma thing.
Oh, I
when
thought
they
you
had
talking
the
about the
war.
Rosewood.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I
no,
thought
no.
you were talking about the
No, 'cause they were able to fight back.
1919.
Oh,
they
I
were
was
able to
about
fight back
They were
on a
able to fight
minuscule
back
level.
on a
level.
minuscule
But
level.
all of
But they
all
were
of those
still
towns got wiped
able to
out.
fight off the military. That was like a portion of the military because it wasn't everybody.
Right.
It was a small portion of them that really hated them though. But they was able to give them a good fight though, because they lost a lot of numbers too on their side. But in
That-
newspapers, they printed out that only like
Yeah.
10 or 15 people died. But it was a lot more.
Yeah, it was way more.
They lost
but,
more.
But the point to the Tulsa, Oklahoma thing was because black people, you know, it was in their newspapers that we basically had thriving economies. That's why they went on that campaign to destroy all the Black Wall Streets, and then that's why segregation ended, because they didn't have the knowledge to make running sewage systems like we had.
Yeah, they were pissing and sitting in pots and throwing it out the
That's why
window.
You get the term "look out below."
Yeah, right.
So they integrated us into their schools to get our knowledge on how we were building these cities and towns and everything.
That's why we ended
And
up
that's
being
why
in apartments, is because we lost all our homes.
Right, that's why we're in the situation that we're in now. Even in the 1940s, when they were saying
Redlining.
black people were so poor and destitute, it was because they destroyed all those thriving black towns.
You remember when they were showing that show about Mike Tyson growing up, and he was hanging out with his friend, and all around him was rubble, like the place was destroyed.
Yeah, Brownsville.
Yeah.
Brownsville, New York is just it looked like it looked like part of Detroit right now because Detroit looks like
it
that.
Looked like it was a war zone
It
out
was
there.
Yeah.
Catskill, wasn't it? But it was
Oh,
Brown-
Catskill.
Yeah,
You're
he
right.
grew up in Brownsville
But it was
afterwards.
Catskill, New York, was where it just where that area.
Like a
Everything
fucking
was
war
full.
zone.
It really
What
just looked like a
Precepts.
yeah. Go ahead, brother.
It goes
I
well.
got
with
precept to that.
Yeah.
what you're saying. It's this is just history repeating itself. This is Exodus 1 and 9. I know 1 and 6. It says, and Joseph died, and his brethren and all that generation. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty. And the land was filled with them. Oh, this sound familiar? Then we start after post-war slavery, our post-war.
Yeah, they would make laws where we
Emancipation.
couldn't do our own things, and we couldn't have a certain amount of money, and we couldn't leave.
And we worked around it.
Yeah.
We found a way around it and
Just
made
like
these
we
thriving
always do.
societies.
We always
Right.
gotta find a way around it to really
Right.
change things up.
And
then
then
they put more
after
rules
slavery,
out
they
there.
didn't want to deal with us, so they ran us out of their cities and towns, and we built our own.
And then they burnt those down.
Yeah, and they burnt them down because our stuff was better than theirs.
Right.
And then they integrated us, and the reason why we in this state right now is because they integrated us. And even in the 1940s and 50s, guess what we were doing? We were actually starting to come back. And you got a lot of scholars during the 1940s, 50s, and early 60s that black scholars that was really intelligent. In that era, what was the economist Thomas Sowell came up in that area.
Yeah.
And then guess what happened? In the 60s and 70s, they came out with civil rights, feminism or feminism, and all types of stuff like that. During the early 70s, 75 and all that other stuff, women started thinking that they were independent. And that began the destruction of the black family.
Actually, it was
Welfare,
1968.
the F&S.
It was 1968 when they began the campaign of the welfare campaign
Yep,
of the
welfare,
mother.
F&S movement, civil rights, all that stuff came in the mid 1960s. By the 1970s, it got into black women's mind to be independent and strong and shit, where they didn't want to deal with a man because the government give them welfare, give them money, so they
So they can sustain their bills.
Right.
Not give them not
But-
a cent extra
Well,
on top of
when
But
that.
they said the man had to be
Out the house.
You know when they
That was
changed
the stipulation.
When they had the welfare queen, you know the welfare queen. You heard of that?
Yeah, the
Where
welfare
they think this
queen.
woman is just using the system to just get money, but
And
she
that was-
wasn't even from the states. She
that was
wasn't
actually
even black.
and that was actually BS. That was part of their propaganda machine because Edomite women were doing it more than black
Yes.
women.
Well, you got
Yes.
if you look at the statistics right now.
Now it's
There's
different.
more.
No,
now
I
there's
mean,
still
from the
more
conception.
Edomites on
Wait,
welfare than there are
yeah.
us.
From the
Yeah.
conception, welfare was made for them.
Mm-hmm.
They just let black women on there.
Mm-hmm.
And they put our women as the face of welfare, but they're the
Yeah.
ones they're the ones that's on the system more than us.
Look, if you
And
go
it-
to these stores and you see some of these motherfuckers pull up in Jaguars and Bentleys and nice cars, they go into that goddamn store and pull out that same orange ass EBT car.
And then you see them at Walmart, and they got.
I heard
nothing good on them.
I heard a story. I heard from somebody that a lot of these motherfuckers that own corner stores, they get food stamps every month. Like a lot of people, they food and they go to the
Yeah.
WalMarts and buy up all these carts of
Yeah, I
shit.
see it. I
Like
be
they'll
seeing
have
it.
2 or 3
Chinese
carts
people
of
do that
full
too.
of cereal alone. Just cereal, 2 or 3 carts full of cereal alone. They do it late nights. How I know that because me and my wife used to go grocery shopping at 12 at night.
Black water.
They be in there late nights. They don't do that shit early in the morning where everybody can see them. Where they
And
you know
then they go and they
truth be
sell that
told-
shit for a inflated price.
right
Yeah,
right.
Or they sell it back to their country.
Truth be told, all these rules and laws is actually made against Israelites.
Right, against our people.
You know, so we can't do the same thing. But the rules is different for other nations.
It's just like this. And I'm gonna tell a story, but don't nobody react on it. But I'm gonna tell this story that I knew somebody that was downloading movies, and then all of a sudden, one day, and I'm guilty. I used to buy movies from the guy. So one day, the guy told me that he got a letter in his mail from his service provider telling him to stop downloading movies, right? So he was like, well, I ain't gonna really mess with it no more, whatever. I'm like, okay. But white people been doing this since the 90s.
Right.
Look, I found out white people been doing this since the 90s.
Chinese
Since
people been doing this in
95,
China.
when Windows 95 first came out. They've been doing this since Windows 95. And then all of a sudden, soon as Jake get on white
Jake,
people is teaching
once
Jake
Jake
what
find
they're
out
doing.
about it,
So
yeah.
now that Jake done got on it, now all of a sudden your service provider threatened to take you to take you to court and call the police and all types of stuff on you. You know,
Right.
like they don't treat us like they treat their own.
That you know what? That's why you got to get NordVPN, which is the sponsor of this video.
You can also check out Windscribe while you're at it. No, like, then you
Fuck,
gotta
man,
wait.
we ain't giving them no free advertisement, man.
Holla at your boys. Actually hear that stuff and shit.
Let me get this precept.
Also, I just got a little bit more.
Oh, go ahead, brother.
I'm
I'm sorry. Did you have something, brother?
Ezekiel
Okay,
1 and
you go
7,
after him.
Exodus 1 and 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty. And the land was filled with them, right? Just like today, because we are the children of Israel, right? It says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. All right, you can say Biden, you can say Trump, they all represent
The same
that face.
thing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
these bankers is like, man, look, these niggas getting too powerful. They starting to kill off rappers that don't have labels because they know how bad they're not selling their catalogs. They why they locked up R. Kelly, he was on the phone telling them, right? He called Corey Holcomb, and he was going in. They didn't lock him up for being with young women because they were all legally married to him.
Right.
He was locked up for racketeering. You know what happened? He got into it. They basically shared information. He had 2 girlfriends while he was locked up that first time when they was trying to get him. And he basically, because he's telling Corey Holcomb from jail over the phone. He said, they basically, the courts, all these motherfuckers gave her, like, they basically put the women against each other.
Mm-hmm.
They gave her classified information and showed her all of this stuff so she could get on R. Kelly. He was mad as fuck, because when he came on, he started singing, "When a woman's fed up, there ain't nothing you can do about it." He was singing it over the phone, and he was like, "I just want to let y'all know this is me," you know what I'm saying? Because he's cool. They both from Chicago. They was cool. They cool as fuck. You know, him and Corey Holcomb. But to get to the point, he was locked up for racketeering. She testified. If a woman testifies against you, just to say you a bad person, they can lock you up for anything.
Well,
Corey Holcomb was saying that's the scariest part about
that's
this.
that hashtag believe all women when women are
I'll put it this way, that ain't that
for racketeering.
But look, ain't that the same thing? This the thing though. Didn't that same thing? Didn't that?
They'll
Go ahead.
make accusations just to bring down your livelihood and reputation. They practice it on other bitches.
Wait, but it was all to get his catalog. He was telling it. It was all to get his catalog. Now I just saw John Legend sell his catalog for a small amount. I'm seeing all of these major artists, even 21. I'm seeing people with dope catalogs that I'm like, why would you? That's like selling your masters.
Did you see,
that's the equivalent of selling your
Did
masters.
you see the dude that sold the catalog for the music company behind Amigos back, and some motherfucker from another country own all they shit now, and they ain't got nothing. Yeah, like the only thing he got is what he got with Takeoff before he died or whatever, because that was not with the label. But the label they were with, the two black dudes, they sold the fucking shit under for like, they said like 100 million or something like that. Like when the company was worth like 500 million or some shit. It was crazy, some crazy ass number, man, that they was talking about. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, and why is everybody selling their fucking shit now? Like that you own that shit. That gets passed down through generation to your children and shit. So they're like, why are y'all selling it now? Yeah.
Either you sell it for this price or you gonna die.
It's cool though.
Or you gonna end up in prison.
I put it this way, sell it anyway because the Lord finna destroy this shit anyway. So it ain't gonna matter.
They don't get that money no more. It goes to the new owner of that. Every time that's a residual income.
He wasn't gonna do that.
Exactly.
Okay, y'all brothers, hold on
right.
just a second, because our brother got to bring out a scripture real quick. He's been trying to bring it out for a while.
This is Ezekiel 35:1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. And say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Right. And they get desolate right now. You look at the land right now.
Right.
Not just talking about the forest.
It's a lot of blood on this land, man.
Degrade, right. And to the point where they got to use chemicals. You know, the financial system that they established was based on debt, based on destruction. It was built to be in the negative. When they took it off of the gold standard, and I was talking to that older Jake brother about that too. He was telling me where he was in Germany in 1950 something, and he was like, when he remembered when they took the dollar off the gold standard, and how the drastic change was. That's what you see in the equivalent now of this system. Just imagine this system that you see right now that's based on this paper dollar, this petrodollar, is being transferred over. That's the same equivalent that you saw when it was being taken off the gold standard. The way he was explaining it to me, and I got it, I recorded it, you know what I'm saying? So, documentary coming soon.
It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time that their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Right, and that time is right now, man. That time was 1867 or whenever they say that slavery was over.
Right.
It was at an end back then. And Esau been killing us and fucking us up ever since then. Physically and mentally.
He even got our women thinking that they are to be completely submissive to Esau, but how dare you think that they're going to be submissive to another Israelite male?
Right,
When
right.
when the
There's
male
that
got to be
video.
Israel, the
Right.
male got to be submissive to the so-called white people.
Right there,
you know, like,
there's a video circling where this dark-skinned black bitch basically said that all the black people in America is slaves, including her and the black man. How is she gonna submit to a slave when they slaves too?
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's like, that's how fucked up the minds of our people are, man. I mean, that was probably the worst. That was probably the worst mind meld that I done seen so far. I mean, honestly though, we are slaves here.
Yeah.
We're slaves mentally. Why? Because you don't know who you are. You're not in your land. We the Israelites. We're not over in our land, which is Israel.
We don't hold any
we don't.
authority.
Yeah, we don't hold no.
household.
Yeah, we don't hold no authority. Because at any time, Esau can take anything in your house. They'll bring down their police force and they can take whatever the
I mean,
fuck
ain't
they
that
want
how
in
they
your
got
house,
this land right now?
So who are we
Yeah.
oppressing for them to say that they're against us? Our women saying that they're against us because we're oppressing them, but we never had any power over them.
Right, to oppress them. Yeah.
To oppress
Right.
them or
That's it.
anyone else.
They also say a foolish woman is clamorous and she
Right,
knows
simple
Yeah,
and
she's
know of
simple
nothing.
and know nothing.
You know,
Yeah,
that's-
our women don't know shit. This is not a personal thing. This is a race thing. And women don't even understand that,
Well, they don't even understand we don't need you.
Right,
To be
right.
honest with you,
Yeah.
there's plenty of women. We got all these Filipino women that want us right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, y'all can say all the shit you want to. Them women
I
put up
won't even say-
videos.
I
They're
won't
putting up
even say
many videos.
Filipino, I say foreign.
Foreign.
Any
Yeah.
Women that is not of the Western mind state.
Right.
They telling us to come over there. They want us. It's
So
not
why
like
haven't you been
we.
here before? We waiting on
They
you.
like,
So
man,
they're waiting on you.
please. Like, and you know, they men over there. They men over there might feel some type of way. I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
they actually don't. That's the thing.
They don't mind. They
The
don't care.
men over
They don't care.
there, they pick the women of theirs that they want. And the other ones that's, dating foreigners, they don't mind it.
They
That's the
don't-
thing.
yeah, they don't have
Because
this,
the same
clannish thing where they don't
the
want
same
their women
taste-
dating other people.
the same taste that the foreign man has is not the same taste that us American men have. For example,
Oh, yeah.
basically, the feminine and friendly thing. A foreign man would rather have a woman that's got the hourglass type body. The foreign man over there, they usually choose the thicker woman, the ones that we would say is a bit on the heavy side. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a
But
chart
they will,
on that.
but
That's
they
true.
will mess with a skinnier woman. But as far as marrying them, they ain't marrying them.
Unless they have-
But the foreign man to come over there and and scoop them up.
They say they got good hips.
I saw this chart. It was on the on the phone, and it showed each body type, ideal body type, each
Yeah.
woman. Like they'll
Yeah.
wear the same thing, like it was like a bra and some panties, but it showed each one from each country.
Yeah.
And some of them, like China, is bony, of course.
Yeah.
And and of course, Jay, you'll see them. You see some of them thick, Asian women, and they men don't. They be like, no good. Shit, Jake be like, man.
Right.
That is good.
Because I mean,
But it's
when
just-
you
it's
look
their
at it, when you
mindset.
think about it, because
their
Edomites like
culture.
the more bonier women. Jake like a woman with a nice body, but a lot of foreign men actually like the more heavier set women. I mean, heavy set women is all right with me, but I like the nice body women personally.
You can't be too big
You know?
though.
Exactly.
I don't mind-
That's
I don't
what
mind a
mean.
bigger girl, but
That's
not
what I
too
mean
big.
about the nice body.
You
women.
can't
If you
be
Lizzo
so
big,
fat,
that's
you
too
can't
big
have
for me.
Heavier set.
Lizzo
Can't
is
be
too
so
big.
fat.
That's too big
Yeah.
for me.
But
That's
see,
just my
the
opinion
foreign
though.
men like not Lizzo size, about a size
Small,
down.
yeah,
from Lizzo.
just a little smaller
But
than her.
American
Couple
men
size
actually
down,
like
actually.
the ones that's got the better shapes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because there are some bigger women. I'll say it like my wife.
Yeah, better
That she got a decent
I
shape,
say
but she
curvy
just
but not fat.
yeah.
Curvy, but not fat.
Yeah, because
not
you
fat,
have if you
know.
have the right proportion, the dynamics of your
Then-
body, the weight that you do. One like say one woman can weigh the same as another, right? But the way her body is put together, a lot of that might be coming into her midsection and not her backside.
Yeah.
We always say call
Now-
it booty do. Your
now
gut hang out
imagine
more than your
that
booty.
same woman is working out too. She's in shape. She's
Right.
in shape and she's curvy and she's thick.
Right,
Round
exactly.
legs and good thighs.
And sometimes they naturally have it. Naturally, sometimes even when they kind of big still, it's like all you do is get rid of that gut, girl, you'll be a bombshell because their body
That's
is
the
already
term.
proportioned. Yeah.
Oh, let me get this. Let me get this precept, brothers, real quick. This is Galatians 6:9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men. And when it says all men, it's talking about Israelites. All right, all men in Israel. But let's do good to all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith, which is the men of the Lord that's out there crying, the ones that's preaching and prophesying, every week, sacrificing their life to bring you this information, really, truthfully, to bring you this warning from Yahweh Shem Yahweh, which is the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. All right.
This is Galatians chapter 5. I'm going to start at 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which these adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, is that how it said?
Lascivious.
Yeah, lascivious, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emasculations.
Man, that sounds like the. Can you start over with that, please? That just sounds like the American lifestyle in general.
Verse 9.
This is what they fight. These are the very same things he's reading.
No, sorry,
everything
verse 18. I think.
they trying to spread around the world.
But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication.
Wait, don't they every song they always talking about having sex with somebody else's wife and woman?
All the time.
And they saying it in the damn country music now. Shit. I was listening at I'm at the dentist like, God damn. Motherfucking cowboys out here, shit, Cowboy Tony out here riding your woman.
Fornication.
Well, this is their society. They made it like this for that reason. Esau actually liberated women so they can have sex with other men's women. That's why this society is made the way it is. I mean, hey, no other country on the planet runs like this, where a woman is liberated and can do whatever in the fuck she wants.
And every time that happens, the kingdom falls.
It's like, and we know that there's a
Rome,
gender.
all the kingdoms that they did that, it failed.
It's an agenda going on that the government has sent out certain agents, females, that are basically placed to disrupt things that make sense. Like anything that makes sense, they're to put out.
They got
say
out there
say things that doesn't make sense, and then
yeah.
they make it an argument point.
Yeah.
Make it an argument like men can't become women can't become men, but they're saying they can. So that they're making something that's supposed to
Just
be
to keep people
it's supposed to be
fighting over
common
something
sense.
else.
Things that's supposed to be common sense ain't common no more because they got these certain people out here making things that's common sense not common anymore.
Right.
So also add to that, they're actually recruit these people in high school and college or universities to
we
be
know.
part of these groups where they teach them this and they have them put this information out there on public TV or online. And they have these same people go in to start like riots or things like that. They're training people to do this.
Right.
Yeah, they call them provocateurs.
Yeah, and to finish, uncleanness, lasciviousness, adultery, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emasculations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies.
Right, and what they would like right now, even us reading this word and coming out with this truth, telling our people who they are, and just bringing you the facts, right? This would be considered an act of sedition to this government.
Right.
Because what we're doing is we're stirring up the people's minds. You know? And
that's why the scriptures say that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal but spiritual. But this is stir up your spiritual mind.
Well, we've been saying that we've been telling people for years that we are in a spiritual war. That's why we don't even allow the Lord ain't allowing no women to be out there in the battlefield doing what we do right now.
They would lose.
Right. They would be torn to shreds, man. You know, like shit, man.
This is 2 Ezra 6:54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all creatures, of him came we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. And that's the point that I want to get to, because the Heavenly Father made the world for our sakes, meaning the Israelites' sake, the people who he's chosen. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing but be likened unto spittle, and liken the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth out of a vessel. And, you know, like I say, the point was the world was made for our sakes. The women in this world, you know, brothers, we don't worry about that, because they were all made for us anyway. When the Heavenly Father returns and everything is turned right side up, hey, we gonna get plenty of that, man.
Think about it like this. You know when you see kings and they have maids help them out, or they have a second person to assist them. That's the role of what the woman is supposed to do.
Right. A woman is supposed to.
Your assistant, your
your support role.
Yeah.
That's what a woman is. That's why so many women like to be secretary. You know?
right. We're trying to put.
No, they always want to be behind in a desk job.
Yeah, they want to do the menial tasks of the boss. Assistant.
Actually, what they want to do is they want to make sure that they do the most easiest thing at the job.
Yeah.
If they can get the most easiest work that's available at the job, that's what they're going to go after.
You know,
they're not going to go after pushing. No. They're not going to go after lifting bricks. You know, and sitting bricks. Right. They're not going to go after jobs. They're going to go after simple shit. They think they bosses, but yet you got the most simplest fucking job that can be taken from you at any time.
For social science type jobs, not STEM field.
What makes y'all think that they can't replace y'all with white women?
But see, the thing
that's my thing.
The thing is about the woman.
What makes you think you can't be replaced? Like, why do? I'm sorry, Shalaki, brother.
The thing is about women is we can put the man has the seed. We can replace the black woman with
any woman.
We can replace black women by using any other nation's woman. The black woman will still be around as long as we're around. Well, actually, I should say the Israelite woman, because black women, black people, black shit is gonna die.
We don't have to have children by the Negro woman anymore.
Right.
Not knowing that the male is the seed carrier. Knowing that the male seed carrier, yes, Negro women gonna be around, but they just not gonna be birthed by Negro women no more. They're gonna be birthed by every other nation's women besides Negro women, because those women the ones that's got to go. They're the mindsets that's messed up, and it's going to be the foreign women that's going to be teaching our young women how to be wives again.
Yep. I mean, that's just the truth. It's like, hey, you women. I mean, women have been saying the black woman has been saying for years now that they don't need the black man. No, the truth is the black man don't need you. Your mind is so fucked up that you will be replaced with foreign women. And guess what? You don't gotta worry. Y'all gonna come back. Y'all just gonna look different. That's it. Because the other women
you're not gonna need to wear no goddamn weaves no more.
Right. You ain't gonna need to wear no weaves because your bloodline is gonna go through another nation's bloodline. A lot of y'all gonna be Filipino-looking women.
You see that video of when that woman from Brazil?
You got me salivating at the mouth, brother. Wipe my.
Right. That's the new Jake.
There is this video about this Brazilian woman saying, "Why are you guys talking shit about like the women in Brazil? Like, I'm not afraid to have my real hair out. I'm not wearing a wig. It's real." I don't got no
Cut.
fake nails. All my
Cut.
body's in shape and like everything.
Who the
like
fuck
that.
told
And
these
that's
bitches we like
another
these
thing.
big ass, long ass nails? Who told you that?
Right.
These
and
fake ass nails on top of that. Who?
And that's another
I think
thing.
they got that from China.
We can still have pure.
That's where they would go to
They
get their
don't.
nails
They
done.
women don't wear it though.
Yep,
No,
that
but they
we can
would do
still
it.
we
They
can
would
still
do it,
make
though.
pure Israelite women
make
by
it
going to the
easy.
Latin nations. Because a lot of you black
Only
women
they
don't
would.
understand the Latin nations are our people too. The so-called Mexicans and Colombians and Brazil, they are people too.
Yeah, right. Brazilians, we got the Haitians, we got
Yeah,
the
hey.
Jamaicans.
They are our people
We
too.
got-
So we
there-
can
there's
actually
so many.
replace you with our own nation's women.
Right,
Because they know how to
No.
behave.
Exactly. They know how to behave better than you do.
right.
You know? The American woman mind state is gonna die off in America.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna
The
die with this-
American
with this
woman's or
destruction.
black woman's mind state is self-destruction.
Yep. And it's going to destroy itself.
Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
Got something out?
Yes. So like, one of the things I want to point out real quick, then I want to finish the scripture. Is FBI and other agencies. FBI, this bullshit outside.
I know, man. Just talk
It's
louder.
getting louder and louder, bro.
Yeah.
They listen to her. They're like, oh yeah, they preaching. And now, the motherfucker got that sweat. They try to block. Yo, that's a demon, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is a demon. Cause I'm talking, I'm like, I know I'm talking loud enough.
Yeah, but the
And
music
then
is getting louder though. It is.
Oh, that motherfuckers ain't been singing shit until now.
They're just playing other music.
Right, they was just playing some, everybody else's shit. He saw them brought the best of his demons out the FBI and other agencies paid informants $548 million in recent years, with many committing authorized crimes. $548 million went to people committing authorized crimes. by the
Authorized
FBI.
crime. Now, how is a crime supposed to be
Authorized. That means that somebody is doing something that's against the law, but he made it. He made it lawful. He made something that's against the law lawful.
Enforcers of the law, it made it lawful for them
Yeah.
to do it.
Right.
For only them to do it. You do it, you
Domestic
going down still.
Authorized them to
Domestic
do it.
terrorism.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
okay, guys.
So you mean
We're
tell me
doing
there's
this
somebody out there that goes above the law, that truly goes above the law
Right.
and do any motherfucking thing they want to do,
to uphold
Right.
it.
and because they give out what you do, what you can and can't do. Who is that? Who's that fucking powerful that can do that right now?
The devil.
Yeah, the 1% elite.
Society.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
new. They've always been doing that.
Yep, they've been doing it the whole time.
Every
They
time
changed
they
the
made
laws to
something
fit them.
illegal,
and
they've
then
been doing it.
again.
I heard that they got license plate for these certain individuals that we talking about, that when the police run their license plate, it says fuck you and let them go. And the police just comes back to the car and be like, you can go, sir. He said, I know I can. And just drove off. That's how they be doing the police. Like, yeah, like these motherfuckers are truly above the law. Like, there's some people out here that's like that, man. Yeah. Yeah, but the police can't do nothing because when they run their fucking place, it comes back, fuck you. So you know that's something that's, like not regular for regular people. You know what I'm saying? This is from motherfucking, these for them higher up. They say the elites got that shit.
That's so
That's who use that shit. The elites use that shit. So when they place get ran by police when they driving, that shit comes back, fuck you. And let me go. And then the police walk back and just say, sir, you can go. And the dude like, I know I can. And take off, speed off, and the police can't do nothing about it. And now bullshit, you know, that's crazy. I'm like, you mean to tell me shit like that really exists out here,
I
man?
like that, though.
Yeah, that's crazy as
I ain't gonna
hell.
lie, it's like he did a little something with
He
that.
said they said certain government officials got that shit,
I
man.
know I can.
That's crazy as hell. Like,
Nigga hit
man.
an infant on the way out and shit.
Right, you know. You go run his plates and shit. Fuck you. Let me go. Like, what
You
the
already
fuck?
know what they is. Hey,
You already know what it is. Like, you can't. If you still want this job tomorrow, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You better send this man on by his way, or else you ain't gonna have a job. You probably ain't gonna have a wife tomorrow, because they probably gonna send her pictures of you cheating and all types of shit that you didn't know motherfuckers had information on you about, man.
Matter of fact, I'm looking
Man.
at this movie on that with Idris Elba on Netflix. Lord knows I forgot the name of it, but I didn't finish it. I was looking at it this morning. Great movie. It's a good movie, and it shows you how he was a cop that got impersonated, like this Edomite basically played him, right? And he impersonated him. He made it look like it was all him. And he had a string of people. He basically had dirt on all these different people. They showed him hacking into people's TVs, the Amazon Echoes. It was, you can see what they were doing real time. Nigga looking at porno. All he did is type in pornography. He showed all these motherfuckers on their phone or their computer looking at pornos. He can show different kinds of pornos, adultery or
They do that shit. They do that shit right now.
Yeah,
But
that's
this
real.
dude right here had it at
Look up
his.
people actually
Just
do
a
his-
regular dude, yeah.
Yeah,
Just a
but you
regular
know what though?
dude.
There ain't no regular
Well, not a
dude.
regular
You
dude,
think
but
it's a regular dude, but it's I guess he probably one of them anonymous people, man. Like I heard, it's a lot of them people
Yeah.
around,
Because they
man.
could be anybody.
Yeah, they could be
former police
anybody, but you can't
officers,
just.
government
I heard it's not
officials,
easy. I heard it's not easy to get in there, but if you get in there,
Anonymous group?
yeah, I heard it's not easy to. People think it's easy to get in there. No, it's not. But if you get in, I'm telling you, man. They say that organization, the government is afraid of them, man.
I'm pretty sure it's a
Straight
good.
the fuck up, man.
They afraid of this organization. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? Fuck
right,
them niggas,
right,
you know what
right.
I'm saying?
They're afraid of
They're
the.
afraid of this
They're
organization.
they're afraid of
They're
they're afraid of the men of the Lord that's on the streets preaching the truth.
Oh man, we public enemy.
But think
number
about
one.
it. Let alone we out preaching the truth about what's
Right.
going on.
We ain't,
you got
we ain't somewhere
you got
with a mask on.
you got
with
anonymous and
motherfuckers,
motherfuckers like that on right. You got anonymous on these motherfuckers is some type of super hackers where
Right.
I don't give a fuck what you do. They can turn on your TV and start talking to you through this motherfucker right now if that's what
Right.
they wanted to do.
And
You
it's
know,
like, yo, we goddamn it, every time they
Like,
turn
it's
on their
crazy.
TV, that's all they see.
They see everybody.
Is what the Lord got us doing.
Right.
See, these niggas got to break in and do all this extra shit. We just doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? But this is Exodus 1:8. It says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. It says, and he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. You know, you see the influence of our people is so great in every sport, and every fighting combat sport. You know what I'm saying? Now it's on even greater levels in technology. We got brothers out here making water out of air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And they just
All right, they
why would you want to destroy something like that?
because these motherfuckers know that we won't need them no more.
Right. That's it.
You know, and the water, everybody.
Clean water.
Well, you notice every time we
Clean
make
water.
inventions where we can just get water as a source, something bad happens.
Yeah.
Car run off by water.
They killed
Machine that pull
the
water from the air. so
they
people
killed
don't
the
have to-
Edomite that built the car that
Right.
ran. The Edomite that built the car that ran on water. They killed the Edomite. They killed that Edomite dude that built that car and it ran on water alone. I'm talking about even to this day they got the car. The car runs on nothing but water. That's it. Just pour water in the motherfucking car. In the front of the car, you pour water in the gas
There
tank
were
part,
3
and
people that
it
made
runs.
that same car.
You
There were
know,
3 people
but
that
yeah,
invented
the dude was gonna bring it out mainstream. This was in the '60s, Edomite, and they killed him for that shit because. You know, that's why I don't be knowing that. You know, that's why I don't look at people's skin color no more. Because hold on just a second, because I don't look at people's skin color no more because it's, you know, like he looked like an Edomite, but he actually could have been a Jake because he was trying to bring this to the forefront and he was killed for it. You know what I'm saying? That's how they persecute Jake. They don't persecute other Edomites like that. They persecute Jake like that.
The Edomites is on the same
Go
thing
ahead.
that they on.
Right.
Okay,
Let
Go
them
ahead,
get
brother.
that power and then you know, try to run shit off their deceit.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, everybody knows the category, or they've heard of this group called steampunk, right? Where people, it's from like when you live in like the 1980s or something like that,
Steampunk.
or you know, I mean the 1800s, where people
Yeah.
come up with inventions.
Mhm.
That came from somewhere when like 18 or 1920s, where people were just making invention stuff like that, making cars that
Yeah.
could fly.
Well, to
We
be
were already
specific,
making things like
it
that.
started with
Yeah.
the Chicago Fair.
Yes.
That
They
fair
had
that
a
they
bunch
had.
of inventors coming
The
up with a
same
whole
thing
bunch
that
of
we
stuff.
have now.
Yeah.
We had in
We
the
already had it.
1900s.
Yeah.
It was the scooters. I did
Yeah.
a video on that. They got the same.
Yeah, they had the
we
scooters
got
in the
our-
early 40s or some
Yeah.
shit like that.
Why did that
Yeah.
stop?
But see, that's what I was saying about the Black Wall Streets. If we were already in early 1900s up to the 1920s, if we already had cities like this, and I'm talking about our people, Jake, black so-called black people, we already had cities running like this with the toilets and all that,
We would've had
airplane
all
fields
kind
and
of
all that.
shit.
They destroyed
We would've
it
had
in
our
the
own time.
1920s.
Everybody would've had their
Now,
own
We
time
would have
to
had a
fight.
standing military.
right? Just
with
imagine
That's
if
the
they.
next thing.
Yeah, I
Jake
mean,
was
we under the curses.
It would have been in
so-
Wakanda. They knew where that shit was coming for real.
Yeah, that would have been. That's what.
And just imagine now, you know.
Imagine
like
how
I'm
far we
saying,
would be now, man.
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. We would've had a
imagine
standing
how it's gonna be in the kingdom, though.
I
right?
know,
You
yeah, kingdom beautiful,
when
man.
We're actually ruling and under the laws of the Heavenly Father the correct way, you know.
the things they look at, they look at as sci-fi movies. We gonna have that technology for
Right.
real.
Within
For
50
real.
years,
They would've
Jake
been
came fresh out of slavery and
5
built
decades behind.
communities and cities like we living in today.
Yeah.
Like we've been out of this bitch.
Right.
I put it this way:
To the point where
the
they
whole
had to
toilet
destroy it
system,
and integrate us
they're
into
still
their system.
using our way of how to get rid of waste in your body. Not throw it out of a window, but
Right.
actually flush it down a
Right.
toilet that goes through a
That's-
system.
That's actually a sewage system that Jake invented. And
Right,
Jake
right,
invented
yeah.
it way back when.
Look, I'm gonna go
when
back
we were
far.
ruling way
I'm
back
gonna
then.
go back far as Joseph. When Joseph needed the water to come to the garden or whatever, and how he did it. He made the
Yeah.
water from the ocean come to the garden or whatever, flowing to the garden. That's us.
The
You know what I'm
basic
saying?
sewage system.
Right. Like we create all that.
Because the
You
people
know.
back then, the people back in history in ancient times, way more intelligent than
Yes,
the people
and that's what trips me out. How can somebody? They can't even figure out how they built these pyramids still.
Right.
All this high technology today, and y'all can't figure out how they built a pyramid that's made out of stone.
Who made it though?
We don't know.
Everybody's
Well, we
made
know
it.
Jake made it. We know, but that's what they're
Yeah.
saying. They saying they don't know, but we know that Jake made that.
Right.
And
And
it
it
was
wasn't the Egyptians that made
right,
the
and
shit.
it wasn't even that hard like they say it was. Like they're
Right.
trying to say it is today.
Well, it is to them because they don't understand.
They don't
our
understand
mind,
technology,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
They just had a good calculated system of how to move everything.
Right. Well, actually, we had a better one.
Yeah.
We had a better
And
system
we
how to
didn't have
move
the
things.
machines that they have
Nope.
today.
Right.
Nope.
And then they turned around and used it on us for slavery. Them dirty, Egyptian motherfuckers.
They also
And that's why the
had-
Lord fucked them up. You know.
Nobody talks about the pyramids in the Aztec places when they had those pyramids.
Right.
Right.
They talk about
What
that
about
in
the pyramids they find in the rainforest?
Yeah.
Well, they talk about that in Hosea, how, you know, how the northern tribes will go out and build temples,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and man, continuing on, he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. This is Exodus 1:9. It says 1:10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us.
Right, and that's why Esau made that Planned Parenthood,
Mm-hmm.
birth control, and put them the closest to Jake neighborhoods and advertise
Well-
it more to Jake neighborhoods,
Liquor stores.
so you can keep destroying.
Well, we know where that
Liquor
comes
stores
from.
and churches on every liquor
We-
stores and churches on every
Yeah,
corner.
yeah.
And that's why we know that these Edomites is directly from them Egyptians that the Lord destroyed a long time ago, because they got the same mindset as the Egyptians, man.
Right.
When
Same
Pharaoh
thing.
when Pharaoh was taking every firstborn child, he did that because he felt like Jake was getting too mighty in multiplying. Then he got nervous, so he started taking the firstborn of the women, the firstborn son of the women, and throwing them
And
to the
that was all-
alligators.
He tried to take out a prophecy.
Yeah.
Right,
And when it just forced him to
It just
fucking,
made-
to force him to actually carry it out.
Right,
Fulfill
right,
it.
right.
Because a lot of those Jakes had to die.
Yep. But
For
Moses
whatever
actually
reason.
got away, but Moses was a baby, got something that, in that river or whatever. But
Like,
hey,
but
man,
a lot of people,
everything
all
was
those
meant to
was
happen.
Jake babies that died.
yeah, I
bro.
know. All of them, they was eaten by alligators.
But it's like, what you gotta think about reincarnation, knowing what it really is, and it's like, what y'all did some shit, man.
Look, man,
Most
I
High
ain't-
say, hey, I'm gonna take you. I'm
Look,
gonna take a whole
you're
generation.
right.
out.
Look.
right now.
Man, look, man,
Jake, man.
I ain't never heard of nobody inventing a torture, the way to torture people of burying a coffin halfway in the ground where it's halfway sticking out the ground in the heated sun in the summertime
Well,
and
just
putting a little
swallow
water
it.
in it and then setting somebody in it for 10 to 20 hours,
Wait,
man.
you gotta
like
think
that's
about it, too.
or do you know that steam comes up and you breathe that in with all that hot air, whatever, man, that's
They'll leave them in there
torture.
for a couple days sometimes, and you peeing in that water.
That's torture. That's torture. That's like, what the fuck? Like, some of the things that I have seen, I couldn't even
Hot box.
conjure in my own mind.
They call it the hot box.
Guantanamo Bay. That's one. I think that's one of the places they had. Was Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, remember they were talking about that? They don't talk about it as much, but they did start. People had to discover it. They had reporters like discover this, that they're doing some type of torturing, which was like illegal.
Crazy, man.
For like to be doing
Like
to
that
another
water,
country.
white, what do they call that? Waterboard, wash,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck
That
they
came
call
from
that
them.
shit.
And when they
That was
did-
horrible.
And when they did get those people, they found out some of those people weren't even
Yeah.
terrorists or not. They were just people that had regular jobs, but they were torturing them, asking them for information.
That was
Straight
a
up.
torture game. Well, remember we used to
when
talk
Bush was
about that
around.
one.
Wasn't that in like 2009
Yeah.
when they came
No.
out with that documentary
Yes, when the
about the
information
torturing
came
that
out
people?
about it.
Wait,
But
check
Bush
this out.
was president.
Remember that one
People thought it was a
CIA
myth.
bitch that was in Thailand, and they found out they had all them tapes of this bitch carrying out. All
That's what
these
I'm talking
tortures.
about. That documentary,
Bay.
they was on
Yeah,
overseas,
yeah.
and them army
Yeah,
people,
it was in
they had them
Thailand.
like
just
tied.
erased all the
Yes.
footage came.
Remember they had them all
destroyed
naked and they was
Thailand.
laying on top of each other and
Yeah,
shit, like
yeah,
demasculating them, like
Yeah,
purposely,
'cause that
man.
was Guantanamo Bay,
And they was taking
that.
pictures in
She
front
was
of him and
really
shit.
taking that. That
She was
was a
smiling in
Yep.
the picture.
Yeah, she was taking
it was
pictures.
it was
Her and a couple people.
specifically built to find out how far the human body can be taken before it dies, and amount of tortures carried out, how long they can keep the body alive to torture it until they finish with it, to get anything, get you to admit to anything I do. Man,
America
bro,
should have
these
been
are
like
some
put
devils,
sanctions on or
man.
something for all.
No,
that.
America's the one who was doing it.
I know, but I said they should have been in trouble for that.
No.
They,
came out from
how
other
they gonna be in
countries.
trouble from what? They self?
They-
Because they the ones
No,
running
no,
the
no,
shit.
because NATO. I mean, not NATO, but the UN.
They,
The UN puts-
they Edomites.
Yeah,
I know, but
they
you know,
same
yeah,
thing.
but you know the UN like puts people in trouble when they do
No,
things
that's
like
the
that.
Yeah, but look, they're all
America-
Edomites, man.
Edomites, the
I know,
UN
but
is the
America,
other
I know
other
it's a
nations,
separate thing,
but they still,
America's not a part of it.
Right, I
Because
know what you're
they'd be in
saying.
trouble for it.
Yeah, but see, think about it. You think they didn't feel the same way back in the day about Rome and shit?
Right.
They was like,
They
God
should be in
damn,
trouble
like
for
they
Rome.
vassal nations. You know, they want to do something. And as a matter of fact, now that they got nukes, they like, there's only so we got a say in the matter now.
Yeah.
You know, when you become a nuclear nation, you got a say in some shit. Like, hey, motherfucker, I press.
Why? Because I can kill. I can kill. Wipe out half of
We
your
finna,
people that's in
go
there.
ahead and close. Y'all
Yeah.
got that, y'all last
Nah.
scriptures.
Con. It says, 10th verse of Exodus 1 and 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when they falleth out any war, they join unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more that, this is the point, the greatest point. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. The more y'all put pressure on Jake, the more we start multiplying. Y'all apply pressure to Jake, and we got this it's like if somebody had a power where you just keep cutting this motherfucker up and he just keep multiplying more and more and more.
Right. It's like a
goddamn
worm.
earthworm.
It's
Yeah.
like a worm. You
And-
know, you
and-
cut the
and-
motherfucker up, it's just gonna be. You cut it up in three.
Right.
In 3 parts, it's just gonna grow 2 more worms.
Y'all like, how do we
What's wrong
get
with the
rid
other?
of these niggers? We can't. Like, what was that? Night of the Living Dead. What was that? The one with the gas leak?
Yeah, that was Return of the Living Dead.
Like that. They like, goddamn, all we can do is just put this motherfucker in a canister.
Right.
Goddamn.
Right.
We can't destroy
Okay.
this.
Look. I mean, the last weapon they came out with to try to count us to destroy us was the census bill.
Right.
That was the last weapon they used against us to try to count every
Find out how many
Israelite in the United States so they can destroy us.
Why do you think people don't count?
Yeah,
People
and
don't
a lot
participate
of
in
Jake
that.
is against that census shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember we grew up hiding that shit.
Yeah, right. You
Now
know.
you
Don't
know
say
why.
shit.
Yeah.
Don't even move.
Right.
Yeah,
Motherfucker.
it's actually just a
Go over
spirit.
your friend's house and play for an hour. Go outside and play for a while.
Yeah,
Look.
yeah.
And if they come to the door and you at the house, everybody got shut for 22.
Yeah.
And you look
No
up,
windows,
moving
no
like a
windows.
ninja, looking up.
No. It wasn't the children. It wasn't the children. See, that's the games we played, but it was always the teenagers or older. The
Yeah.
small kids, because I remember being a kid, and it was my older brothers that had to leave.
Yeah.
And my mom wanted gone every,
Yeah.
once, every 3 or 4 months or something like that. They would have to go spend that with my sister's house or something. Yeah, because these people was coming in the morning. Well, it's not the small kids that they worry about because they'll count the small ones, but it's the older ones, like the teenagers. They get them out of there because those are the ones they're gonna come after. Not the children, not yet, but the ones they want now is the teenagers, the ones that's able to think and learn.
Yeah. And with that, y'all got anything else?
Anybody? You got something, brother?
NordVPN.
Yeah. With that, we're gonna close. We hope you all were edified
Wait,
till
hold
the
on.
next
Hold on,
time.
he said
You got something
Oh,
out?
you got something?
Yeah.
This is 2 Peter 2, starting at 9. It says, "The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance."
Right. Hey, and that's another thing. People count this as the Lord slacking or waiting. No, he long suffering to make sure all the brothers that's gonna make it get in there. That's long suffering, man.
So what you mean to tell me, brother, that the Lord ain't sending all of these sinners to hell to burn for eternity?
No, the Lord is merciful. He's getting all the 144 and 1/3 together.
But I could have swore hell was in the Bible, brother, and that they had a devil down there that's just gonna burn your ass up because God is tired of your sins, brother.
Hell
He
is
wants
in
you
the
to
book
burn
of
for
niggas'
eternity.
minds, okay?
Hell is just the ground that they bury.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah, because really it's just
Grave,
extreme degradation. Yeah, extreme degradation is like this.
Right.
Say, for instance, you got until tomorrow to get your rent paid, or you 3 months behind your rent. You got until tomorrow to get at least 2 of those months paid, or else you and your children gonna be put out in the street, and you ain't got no job, and you ain't got no fucking way to pay this motherfucker.
that's
So that's like extreme degradation. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Your back is against the wall.
Not being your back against the wall. It's more like you're a king, and then all of a
You're
sudden you
suffering.
become into a commoner.
You just suffer.
Right.
No,
No, not suffering. No.
No, it's a degrade.
It's a degrade
It's a degrade, right.
of what you from one
Right.
position to another.
Right.
If you're a king and then you become a commoner, that's
Right.
extreme degradation.
Right.
We're the princes of the Heavenly Father, and we're treated lower than commoners.
If all your
That's
life,
extreme degradation.
if all your adult life, you always made no less than $200,000 or $300,000 a year, and your family always took this vacation and
Right.
this and
Then
that.
all
Then
of a
all of a
sudden
sudden one day it
you're
just came crashing down, and
Right,
you
right.
lost your job out of a job you had ever since you was an adult. And you had this job for the last 30 years. Guess what? There's men that killed themselves over
Right,
being extreme degradation.
That's hell.
What did they do?
Look at the stock market crash.
Yeah,
They
go
were
ahead.
jumping out the window.
Yeah.
See, brothers, hell is the concept
All right.
of the mind.
Let's let the brother finish his scripture.
Go ahead, brother.
This is Revelations 20 and 14. Getting straight to the point. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And the death and hell, pretty much represent the grave or the pit. And if you go to the precept in Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, where it talks about, the Most High shall cast into hell as well. The Hebrew word is shawah, which means the grave or the pit. Because, the whole, that whole Greek cunningly devised fable.
Apollyon.
This lake that's getting ready to happen, it's going to be an entire lake of fire on the earth. Mainly
You
here
saying
in
it's gonna
America,
be
in the
hell
Third
on
World
earth,
War.
brother?
Yeah, because it's going to get hell on earth.
Okay.
Oh, who's that?
And that's what the men of the Lord is actually going to get delivered from. But the rest, is going to be cast away and destroyed. The elect and 1/3.
All right, with that, we're going to close. All praise and glory
To Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, and Kakwadash.
This is the Apostle of Great Millstone. Salutations to you out here doing the work of truth.
Shalom. On three, a Bible ball. 1, 2, 3. A Bible ball, a Bible ball, a Bible ball. Shalom, Abkim.